but I don't think it's fair to call him a surefire in comparison to like, if we're comparing it to other reserves that we had considered, like Trae Young, man, he's having a great season as a point guard, right?
Out, man. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, at this point, if average 27 and 10 don't get you in at this point, it don't matter.
They're 18 and 26. They're 18 and 26. Next question.
Welcome back to another edition of the What's the Play podcast. We are back with another episode. I'm Christian, here with Brian, JB, SportsFan/JG, Caleb behind the camera, and then Nathan is virtual from his residence. He is on our Discord, but he's here with us. Everybody, how's your week been so far?
Man, week hasn't been too bad, you know what I'm saying? Got a couple of days off from work, so that helped. Got some plans for tomorrow after we like have everything settled podcast wise in terms of having everything uploaded and stuff like that, so for y'all to see. But yeah, not too bad this week. Not too bad.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just enjoying the weather because I know it's good right now, but it's also very bad technically because we're in January and it's about 70 degrees outside. So I know who knows what's about to happen next on this earth. So I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts.
I love a good left-leaning podcast. He about to turn this back.
Yeah, come back right. I had a good week. I enjoyed hooping with y'all on Monday. That was fun. Got some good plans coming up this weekend as well. So
Without us.
Without you guys, yes.
First weekend we've spent apart.
No, it don't have to be. It don't have to be. We can hoop Sunday.
Oh.
You was being stubborn. It's okay though.
I'll think about it.
I know. But yeah, I had a good week. I had a good day today as well. So how about you, Caleb?
Oh, nah, long week, man. Ready for the weekend to come. I'm ready to see the Ravens beat the Chiefs in the NFC Championship, man. My Baltimore Ravens. I will be at the parade within a few weeks. Let y'all know that now.
I'll be there as well.
Are they gonna cancel school for that?
I'm canceling school
for that.
I'm canceling school for that. I'm taking my leave for that.
For a Ravens Super Bowl, yeah, okay.
Baltimore County schools.
Just asking.
Yeah, those should.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Baltimore City.
I don't know about Baltimore City. I don't know about Baltimore City. I don't know about that city.
You don't know about. Then they
Baltimore
need to
County.
School.
But yeah, it's been chill, man. It's been a good time. Good hoop session Monday. Saw something hilarious that day as well. Somebody kind of.
Hold on, man. I didn't get to review my week.
Parlaying this shit like
yeah,
shit.
But my week has been, it's been a pretty lengthy week. The highlight of my week came on Monday. When I got to hoop with my friends, we had a day off of work, kind of. And we were able to go to the gym, me, Caleb, and JB. And we didn't really do too much. Played a couple games of King of the Court. Won some, lost some.
Tell the score.
I believe JB won about 3 of the games.
You believe?
I believe JB won about 3 of the 5 games that we played. I won the other 2.
Okay.
He had a good day. He had a pretty good day, except for when I caught him one time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first in podcast history where one of our own is a victim of the Mingles pound dribble.
That's true. Pause, but that's true.
That's a crazy term.
JB got sent to the floor.
Ankle
No contact.
dislocated.
I don't know if that's why he's not hooping with us this weekend. His ankle, he had to go get it checked out at the ER after that hoop session. I actually had to drive him over there. I felt really bad. But I mean, at the end of the day, he did end up winning more games. So it's like I had to lead there with something. So I was very determined to make sure he went down to the ground. You want to reenact it?
No, I don't want to reenact it no more. No, you lost me.
Oh, no more. So we
more.
were gonna do it.
I was gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
But then you started saying you took me to the hospital and shit. Like, nigga, I got back up and I won the game after that. Come on, stop lying.
That's a crazy lie.
Take you to the hospital.
No.
Pound dribble took him to the floor.
Took him to the ground.
That's
It
wicked.
did.
Yeah.
That's so wicked.
Legs in the air.
It's okay, Nate. You have anything?
Yeah, how was your week, Nate? How was your week?
It's cool. Got nothing to add, really.
True. Fair enough. Simple, man.
Real simple.
Man, we could have used you Saturday, Nate, since we won't be watching the Royal Rumble. But
Yeah, I'm excited for that, actually.
Man, we ain't watching nothing. Sorry.
Actually, not a lot of them probably shouldn't be watching.
Are you,
Yeah. Why are y'all watching that?
I don't know what they're talking about. This is recorded on Wednesday.
The allegations.
This is recorded on Wednesday.
This Thursday.
They caught your homie on it.
Wednesday.
That's your boy, right? And that's your boy,
right?
All right. Anyway, update you guys on the news around the NBA. This is going to be an NBA-focused episode for the most part. So just wanted to update you guys on the NBA news and the happenings across the last week. So the biggest story outside of trades in the NBA was Adrian Griffin being fired from his job as the Bucks head coach. He started off the season 30-13, so this was a bit surprising for most of the NBA world. But Adrian Griffin was relieved of duties. They named Joe Prunty the interim head coach, and that's exactly what he was because Doc Rivers was hired almost immediately. I think maybe if not the same day, then the next day it was reported that he had agreed to a big contract. I believe $40 million for Doc Rivers.
For another 3.5 years of employment.
Yeah, so the Bucks move on from Adrian Griffin in his first year as the head coach. Don't want to speculate too much on the reasoning other than, maybe they just didn't like the performance he was putting on the basketball court.
No speculating needed. The Athletic put out the article, and basically he lost the locker room. And once you lose a locker room that has Dame and Giannis in it, it's barbecue chicken, really. And the defense that he was trying to run, it required a lot of pressing on the perimeter by his defenders. And when you're pressing with Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley, people are just going to run right past your perimeter defenders. And it's putting a lot of pressure on Brook and Giannis and, Bobby Portis. And they didn't really like that.
That's the other thing, because they weren't letting Brook play drop coverage until the players went to him and was like, we need to let Brook play drop coverage.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised they actually did it, I guess, now. I thought they was going to at least, see if it didn't work in the playoffs and then get a new head coach. Because now when you're hiring Doc Rivers fresh out the broadcasting booth, it's
elimination.
I feel like, they're pretty much already eliminated from the playoffs. Unless you're saying, have you not seen Doc Rivers?
Have you not seen Doc Rivers the last,
You said eliminated from playoffs? Okay, yeah. Eliminated from playoffs, I got you.
Oh, they're going to make it.
They're going to make it.
Okay,
we're just saying it's automatic elimination.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
I mean, Giannis is, I want to say he's defied the odds before, but I don't know if he's defied Doc.
It depends on how you. It depends on how you feel about Coach Budenholzer, for real.
We got to also
I feel like he's
and Chris Middleton stepped up as well, but
Chris Middleton's not stepping up again. Just due to age.
Can we take into account?
Good, but he's
Can we take into account the last team Doc Rivers was coaching on?
Which team?
I mean, they had the MVP, didn't they? And the guy that Christian believes is a top 12 guy in the West right now.
But we've seen.
We'll get to that later.
We've seen what that guy has done we've seen both those guys in the playoffs.
You misunderstand. I'm not just looking at Doc Rivers like last season. I'm looking at Doc Rivers for the last
15 years.
Decade. Yeah.
I'm about to say it's more than just last year.
I mean, we can argue that Doc hasn't had.
You can argue what? Please, real think about what you're about to say.
Okay.
Don't say the talent because he's definitely had the talent.
He's probably coached the most Hall of Fame talent out of any coach.
I would agree with that. Most Hall of Fame, yes. But these two players, I don't know if he's coached two players this well. This good, I'm sorry. This time.
He hasn't?
I think Giannis was better than Embiid last year.
He hasn't coached the best, arguably a top 2 player in the league, but Embiid was arguably a top 3 player in the league last year. So it's like you're pretty much.
But the gap between Dame and Harden.
How do you feel about PG and Kawhi?
I say they were.
Oh, he did coach them too. That's true.
And the Lob City Clippers when they had a 3-1 lead.
We're not gonna talk about Lob City.
That's not moving.
That's different.
That didn't move you?
No, you thought they won the championship?
He was a top 3 seed for multiple years in a row.
So was the Grizzlies last year.
I don't think they were ever viewed as real title.
They were
outside of the year they go to state.
I was about to say Golden State first year. They was viewed as
y'all changing.
Really?
Yeah, they were expected to win. Golden State's the first year. They were expected to win.
The history of what was the Lob City team, man.
No, I'm not changing the history. They were great.
They were the favorites to win before Steph and them took over and won that first year.
And the year before that, it was them and the Spurs. That's kind of I think OKC didn't make playoffs that year. 13-14.
They did. That's when KD won the MVP.
14. You're right. 13-14. Yeah, but
I say was it KD or Russ that got hurt that year? Because somebody got hurt
in the playoffs.
West got hurt 2013 playoffs, I think.
Okay.
Oh, you're right.
No, it was.
It was one of those years. All I know was
it's a year OKC didn't make the playoffs.
Okay.
It has to be. It was 14-15 year. 14-15 year.
Yeah, because that was the year Golden State won.
That was the year. Yeah. OKC didn't make playoffs that year.
Because KD got hurt.
Yeah,
KD got hurt.
Because I think KD
before
got
that,
hurt.
Westbrook got hurt. You right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
Man, what could have been?
But I mean, you want to give Doc Rivers the benefit of the doubt? I don't stop you.
I'm
not doing that.
I mean, I agree. I didn't think about the Clippers' tenure. The back half of the Clippers' tenure. I didn't think about that as well. They were definitely on paper favorites.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt when Kawhi or PG got hurt. I'll give them that. I'll give them the injury. But just at some point, 15 years, if it wasn't for that 2008 championship, would he be hired right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to win a championship.
But with the level of talent he had.
I don't think y'all are making this critique fairly, to be honest, because this is a firing that happened, mid-season? So already your candidate pool isn't as vast as what you have in the offseason. And secondly, regardless of what people may think about Doc, some critiques I think are far-fetched, rightfully so. It's an upgrade from Griffin. This is a team, in terms of the Bucks, this is a team that defensively, I think you guys talked about it, their philosophy just playing up high on the perimeter and not really believing in help defense or emphasizing the help defense as much as other teams, even to the point where help defenders are showing has cost the Bucks significantly. And then also, obviously, this isn't a team that had no identity whatsoever, where a lot of the times if they're going up against a team that knows how to rotate defensively, it just turns to really ugly ISO basketball. So, yeah, I think the critique on Doc is fair, but I feel like he's most definitely an upgrade compared to Griffin, Adrian Griffin.
So
my question is, Nate, do you think he's the upgrade enough? Yes, makes him worth the contract that he got, and that upgrade to have him mid-season like that? Will this give him to championship?
That's TBD. I want to see how they. I don't know. I want to see how they play with Doc. Obviously, I think how they do going into the rest of the season will be the biggest. Will mean a lot just because they have the hardest strength of schedule left in the league moving forward. They're ranked number 1, so that'll be really telling. They have at the surface level, I think they check off the check marks just on personnel. You got 2 superstars. You got several guys who could stretch the floor. I still think they may be 1 or 2 trades or acquisitions away from having a championship level roster. But looking at this season, they made the right step. I just feel like it's too early to just sign off if Doc is the best choice long term.
Okay,
he's better than what they have now, and they're in a win-now situation, which I think
yeah, they are.
Given the circumstances, it's not a bad move. It's an upgrade, and that's what they needed.
I think Milwaukee made this move knowing that they have their second best player, who's 33 years old, who is an undersized point guard in today's NBA, who, while is still an elite scorer, is clearly falling off as a defender, and he was never a great defender.
Yeah.
But he's clearly falling off as a defender. He is a clear liability on the defensive end on a team that already lacks defense. So going forward, you don't really know if you're going to have a chance better than this current year. So I do think that the fit with Adrian Griffin wasn't working. I mean, 30-13, it looks good, but they had the easiest schedule in the league up to this point. I don't think they were confident in Adrian Griffin going into the second half of the stretch, hoping that he could just figure it out eventually. I think they just made this move, hoping that Doc Rivers can hold the locker room together almost. I think he is a pretty good leader of men in general. The players seem to respect him wherever he's at for the most part, except for James Harden. But for the most part, the players seem to not yet. The players seem to respect him for the most part. He'll probably be able to hold the locker room together.
Wait, who we talking about?
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, man.
I mean, he's not wrong. I agree with CT there. I also agree with
what?
This is a legendary coach, if we're being honest.
We're not being honest then.
We are. Doc Rivers is a name.
He's
a name.
He's 100% right.
He's a name that the players will respect more than Adrian
He's a
Griffin.
locker room guy and a player's coach.
And that's why I think he'll be. I think that's why he's an automatic upgrade, like Nate was saying, because he's a player's coach and he's a guy.
And even though he hasn't had the success over the last decade in the playoffs, he does have the playoff experience in the playoff moments that Adrian Griffin does not have either.
Years.
But
15 years, 16 years, because it's 2024, 16 years. But I mean, it is what it is. There weren't many better options at this point, so I can understand your point of, you might as well just see how the rest of the season goes and just wait for better candidates in the offseason. But at the same time, it's like this may be one of your last few chances to go get this ring, so you probably want to put out your best possible chance of winning a championship, and I just don't think that Adrian Griffin was viewed as a championship level coach for them.
Yeah.
And so I think if they would have kept him around, they probably would have thought this was probably a waste of a year.
My main issue is not even that Adrian Griffin got fired or Doc Rivers got hired. It's more so off season they had a chance to get Nick Nurse and Giannis said no, and he signed off on Adrian Griffin hired to begin with. So to reverse course midseason, I hired Doc Rivers, who's famously known from a lot of his former players and a lot of his former assistant coach. He doesn't adjust a lot.
Thank you.
So
that's what I was going to ask.
Defeats the main issue with the team. They don't adjust. So why are you getting a coach that also?
Because he'll be an automatic upgrade in the regular season.
And don't tell me he's going to change now.
No. He may not change. He may be their yes man that they need. Okay. If this team is struggling adjusting from a finals that happened 3 years ago, we were doing this when we won the championship. That was 3 years ago. So maybe what Adrian Griffin was trying to do, maybe it would have worked, or maybe we just don't know. They don't have Drew Holiday, so the defense they were running 3 years ago is not going to work. Still not going to work if you bring in Doc Rivers, whoever, to run the defense that they want to run. It's not going to work. So I don't know. Maybe Doc Rivers is the guy that they view as the person who won't adjust to whatever they're already comfortable with. He won't throw off the course. He'll let them run whatever they want. I don't know.
Well, CT, I think the defense they ran 3 years ago would work because that involved Brook Lopez playing drop coverage and stuff. And and as they said in the article, the best defensive game they had, Brook had like 9 blocks.
Who's Drew Holiday?
I know they don't have Drew Holiday. I'm just saying compared to the defense that Adrian Griffin was trying to run, where he was trying to have them play press man, basically.
At that point, it don't matter of what they run.
Because you're not going to have a Drew Holiday.
They have no defenders then.
No, but I was going to say...
What is
right, because even Chris Middleton is not...
Yeah, he's not Chris Middleton anymore, so yeah.
So you're relying on Giannis and Brook Lopez to win you games playing help defense?
Yeah,
that's how you lose playoff games. If I'm gonna be honest,
and that's the issue. Because, like I said, I agree with you and Nate when you say that he's going to be an automatic upgrade. Because he's going to be a guy that's going to listen to them and he's going to be like, okay, if this is what you guys want to do, this is what we can run. And then that'll work in a regular season. But then in the playoffs, like JG said, and I was going to try to get to, there are people religiously saying that he doesn't adjust. So if you don't make those adjustments, and if the playoffs are all about adjustments, what do you do from there?
What are you going to do if you play the Pacers in the playoffs and you want to rely on playing help defense? What are you going to do? Tyrese is going to get to that paint and find the open man every single time, and they're going to shoot you out the gym.
What do you think the opposite is?
I don't know, man. Maybe they should have prioritized getting better defenders instead of thinking that Malik Beasley was
and that's probably why Nate was saying they're a trade or two away.
I mean, teams. I don't think that's the teams are going to play help defense. Like that's just modern defense now, right? But in terms of that's a given. Like every single team plays help. But I don't know. The thing with Doc is like the adjustments too. But when we talk about like player friendly. Like it was reported that Dame very much feels outright. He's been outspoken about how he doesn't feel like the offense is not dedicated. I forget the wording, but that he doesn't feel like as much as he's been adjusting to like his positioning on the Bucks now, it's like they haven't done the same for him offensively. So I think that goes in with Doc. Like he'll be somewhat adamantly aware of it, but yeah, I get the concern though with Doc is just like the adjustments and. I think what I hope this team doesn't fall into just because of the personalities on it is that there's this weird ass tendency, especially in the playoffs, where his teams like will just be mentally checked out for like long stretches that just shoot them in the foot. But I think with the team where you have like Giannis, like I don't hope, and given that he's like he leads the way, I hope that isn't the case. A lot of this though is just we have to wait and see because I feel like. There's definitely like the X's and O's that come into it, and is Doc going to be able to adjust? But I think it's more so how he just manages his personnel. Because ultimately, that was a big issue with Adrian Griffin, right? Like he just lost the locker room.
Yeah.
So we just have to see how it plays out.
He's gonna get in them. I just know Doc, man. It's gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna show, how they show coaches talking to their players and during timeout.
Come on, guys.
And this guy's like, come on, guys. Do you want it?
Come on. No, you gotta do the voice.
Come on, guys.
You gotta do the voice.
Okay, do the voice.
You gotta do
Salute.
Come on, guys. Come on.
But no, I mean, this is the last thing I want to say about it. We can move on to the next topic. But we saw last year, or I think it was last year, when Doc Rivers coached the Sixers.
Which he coached the last 2 years.
Yeah, okay. But he coached a top 10 level defense with James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, and Tobias Harris at the 1, 2, and 3. And PJ Tucker at the 4. So I'm saying, what you about to say? What you about to say?
Few of those players are underrated defenders.
James Harden's underrated defender, correct? Oh,
and
Tyrese Maxey
and PJ Tucker.
No,
Tobias Harris.
no. PJ Tucker definitely a good defender for sure. But I'm saying the difference between PJ Tucker as a defender and Giannis as a defender, and then Brook Lopez and Joel Embiid as a defender.
But like,
I think the gap between James Harden and Maxey might be way wider than the gap between Dame and Malik Beasley.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I see them as two. Well, I view Dame and Beasley as a little bit below average.
That's what you think? Just a little bit?
Nah, Dame
is,
and Malik Beasley are like way below average.
Really?
Like, they might be.
James
like,
Harden
some
at
of the
least
worst
gives
in
you
the league.
Wow.
James Harden at least gives you the ability to go realistically put him on 2 through 4. He'll be
Yeah.
able to switch
Yeah,
for the most part because he is a bit more of a bigger guard.
but that hamstring.
Hey,
Oh,
and
James.
Damian Lillard, he gets on anybody taller than 6'5", and it's over.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's over for the most part, but you can only hide him so much in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sticking to coaches.
Do y'all want to?
Oh, what you
Okay,
saying?
never mind.
No, you go
No,
ahead.
you got to
I
last.
was gonna make a point, but no, we can move.
No,
on.
you got last word, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got it.
I was gonna say like this is not even Doc with like the Bucks, but like Doc historic or like Doc in the with his career. I think is he somewhat overrated as a coach? Maybe a little bit. Does he have his flaws? Yes, but okay. You look at his career history. He starts off in Orlando, right? He has T Mac. Their second best player is supposed to be Grant Hill, but in 3 seasons that he's there, he only plays like 50 games.
Yeah.
They're over 500 multiple times. They make the playoffs with a team that's not supposed to do that. He goes to Boston before the big three gets there. They perform better than I forget the exact numbers, but they perform better than what they really should be. And then the first year where he has a legitimate championship level roster, they win it. Obviously, his 10 years on the Clippers and then on the 76ers probably didn't play out the way that he wanted to, but okay, you talk about like head coaches that there've been only 14 head coaches that won since 1990, and then if you go to 1980, 18. I think people talk about him a little bit crazy. Like there's only since 1980 there's only been 18 head coaches that won an NBA championship. It's not that many. It's not that many people. So I think like that's why like I'm really hesitant just like casting a decision now. I just think situations plays a lot of factors, and he's shown that he can win a championship, which a lot of head coaches in the NBA even can't say. So just wait and see.
Yeah, I feel like I can agree with that.
We can wait and see. We'll see. We'll have to revisit this later in the season, see how it goes. What was the next topic?
I was going to ask this thing on coaches. We want to talk about Wes Unseld, if y'all were familiar with the situation.
Yeah, do you understand more about the situation? I know he's getting a front office role.
Yeah.
He's Wes Unseld is Wes Unseld's son.
Right. I know
so it honestly
Thank
no,
you for telling me that.
I'm going.
If
I
you
know.
didn't know.
No.
He's telling the fans. He's telling the fans. He's not telling us.
I'm continuing my. There's a reasoning behind that. Is
Wizards
the primary?
legend,
Yes.
Unseld, yes.
It's
yes, of course.
It'll be very difficult for them to just outright fire the son of one of their best players of all time
Gotta got their only ring.
for optics. For them, clearly it is. Yeah, because they should have just outright fired him. I do not think they would have just randomly promoted a head coach in his first head coaching stint to a front office role with no prior experience if this wasn't for optics. It would have been very difficult for them to fire the coach who is the son of one of their greatest players of all time. So in order to make it seem like he's not getting fired, they frame it as some sort of front office promotion. And then they promote from within. What is his name? Brent O'Keefe or Brian O'Keefe? I think that's his name.
I didn't see that.
It's something O'Keefe who got promoted.
Okay.
So yeah, the Wizards have not been good. Wes Unseld has not been a great coach. But I think a lot of what was keeping him around as the head coach for 2 seasons? The 2 seasons he was actually there was his name. And this was a pretty difficult situation for him. I think he should have probably took a head coaching job elsewhere instead of where his father made his name. Because it's a lot of pressure, and then it just puts a lot more pressure on the people around you.
I mean,
to keep you in the position as well.
He had been there for a little second before then, though, right? Oh, Jalen's
I'm looking right now.
backfinding right now.
No, Wes Unseld was
Damn.
wasn't he on the Nuggets staff?
He was a Wizards assistant coach in 2005 to 2011.
See,
In
was in Denver.
2011, 2012, Golden State. 2012 to 2015, Orlando Magic. Then 2015 to 2021, Nuggets.
Yeah, he was on the Denver staff.
2021,
It's the right move, honestly.
Yeah, he couldn't be the coach no more.
He should have been let go. I think if you want to be polite, like he should have been let go at the end of the year. But like it was before he was in Washington, he was at Denver, and I just remember reading at least when he first got there that he was like he worked with scouting, and like people in Denver like applauded him for his like work ethic there, and he built like really good relationships with players, including Nicola. To me, like I wanted him to succeed just because of I thought it would have looked nice, like the son of an all-time great coming to Washington and starting to turn around for that franchise. But he always seemed more corporate than on the floor to me as a coach. I think he'll be a much better fit behind the scenes than as a head coach, to be honest.
So you think he's better at finding talent than being a coach?
Yeah, I think he does. From given his resume, I think he's a really nice guy, but that doesn't necessarily.
To be fair,
I mean it's true. That's true.
No,
I'm
serious.
While he was with the Nuggets, he was credited with development of Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. So,
yeah.
I mean, I believe he can be a scout. He was scouting for 9 years for the Wizards before he became assistant coach. So
that makes sense.
I don't even know if he probably won't even transition into like a scout role. I think he'll be more of an organization ambassador to start off at least. Just for his name.
In the marketing department?
Hell no. Nah. If they don't got that man involved in basketball, that's crazy.
No, he'll be involved with the overall aspect of the game. But instead of getting fired, like you could fire any coach, but they kept him around for a reason. I do really feel like they're going to use him a lot for the whole ambassador realm of the sport. He is the son of one of their greatest players ever. He will be used as an ambassador. Nate, am I wrong?
I don't know. I think it's too early. I don't know,
man. Do people really understand that connection well enough nowadays?
Well, with insider information, the Wes Unseld bobbleheads are the best selling ones. So
he did bring him their only championship.
They throwing them joints at the wall, huh?
They be loving that.
In anger.
Is he like the best franchise player ever?
Yeah, I think he is.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, it has to be.
Career-wise, I mean, talent-wise,
probably not.
Let me go back to the 1970s Wizards basketball.
Career-wise,
Yeah, he's the only one that brought him a championship that I can think of.
Cavs not firing Bryce James in 20 years.
Bryce
Just
James.
not possible.
Oh my God.
Or is that too big a leap? Too big a leap?
We gonna make note of it now, and then we'll come back to it in 2045.
Okay.
And we'll know.
If Bryce is the coach of the Cavs, then he's not getting fired. The Cavs are 18.
You think Bryce would be the coach at Bronny? I feel like Bronny would be
Bryce
more
wear
the coach.
glasses. If the Cavs are 18-40 in 2045, they're not going to fire him. He'll become an ambassador for the franchise.
Have they named the interim head coach yet?
His name is O'Keefe. I don't know the first name.
Oh, Brian Keefe.
Brian Keefe.
They brought him. They hired him in July. They hired him this summer. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Huh. Seems intentional then, honestly.
Kind of like Doc with the consultant thing.
Oh, I forgot about Elvin Hayes and Dave Bing.
Elvin Hayes is good, but I would still say
if he's the interim. If he's the interim, it makes sense why they fired him then.
Dang.
It actually makes a lot of sense now if Brian Keefe's the interim, just because it seems like the nature of the hire having to be like just coming in now and then getting rid of him mid-season. Seems like they want at least Keefe to just run the show while they're in the rebuild mode. This is definitely not a guy who's going to coach like long term, maybe just this season or another season. But I think it might be an audition for him, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that how I feel like that's how a lot of people viewed the Thunder's coach, Dano? A lot of people viewed him as the guy to guide them through the rebuild. But a lot of times, if you actually have success in the rebuild,
you gone.
No. If you have success in the rebuild, like Dano, it's like you just stay around because you've done a pretty good job with the players in place. It's no point in moving on from you. So I mean, if he does good with the rebuild, then he's able to keep the job. So welcome back. We are back. Wanted to shout out Kenny Beecham from Numbers of the Board, ESPN Omaha Productions. He responded to one of our questions in one of his latest podcast episodes that we sent him on Twitter. The question was asking about how he felt about Udonis Haslem getting his number retired by the Miami Heat. He was kind enough to include not only our question, but of course our username in his video. He even said the username was pretty cool.
What's the Play podcast said, what are your thoughts on Udonis Haslem getting his jersey retired? I love it.
I mean, once JB told us, I was just, because I've been watching Kenny since I was like 14 years old. So it was just so cool to hear him say our podcast name on his own podcast. It's pretty cool. So shout out to Kenny Beecham for that. Be sure to tune into his content after you watch ours as well. Right. So anything else you want to talk about on that one, or was that good?
Numbers on the board. You said numbers of the board. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Numbers on the board.
It's your favorite man, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Whoa.
But
Yeah.
Hey,
we're not gonna talk about Udonis Haslam. We had a conversation all the time.
We're never having that conversation.
Congratulations
Congrats.
to Udonis Haslam.
Yes.
Oh, congrats.
And Nick
man.
Collison. Who? Nick Collison.
That was years ago. That was years ago.
Man,
Hey, how you feel about that?
same,
No, never mind.
same type of player. Yeah.
Whole nother conversation.
UD
Yeah,
is definitely
Thunder
more
fan.
Can
deserving.
we not save conversations for Nick Collison and Udonis Haslam? What's the next topic?
All right,
We're a
man?
niche podcast.
Oh, you're right.
What does that mean?
Niche.
Just be putting words together.
Ah.
All right, so
It's not niche no more.
Yeah, it won't be niche.
So, NBA All-Star starters were released today prior to the Boston Celtics-Miami Heat game. The Western Conference All-Star starters probably surprised a few people. Eastern Conference All-Star starters definitely surprised a few people. So I think we're going to start off in the East. Point guard, Damian Lillard is probably the biggest surprise. Of course, the typical names were there.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, Embiid, Giannis, and then Tyrese Halliburton, given the season he's having, should not be a surprise to anybody. But Damian Lillard is a starter over names like Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell. Who's that other guy? Trey Young.
Who's that other guy?
Him too. Of course, that's the name I forgot. But Damian Lillard, I don't think any of us had him as a starter. Did anybody have
Danny
Damian
did
as a
not
starter?
have him as a starter.
I don't
So,
have him. I only have him on my ballot, actually.
I had him on
I
my
was about to say, I knew somebody didn't have
That
him.
was a
on.
little silly to begin with.
That was silly.
If you look at our post on IG, you can see that Damian Lillard was in our honorable mentions. Really? So we didn't even have him in our top 12
Yep,
with
and
consensus.
that's all JB's work because he didn't make JB's roster. Shout out to JB for keeping Damian Lillard off of the what's the play ballot.
Wait.
Now Damian Lillard, who's actually a starter, now we look like idiots. Thank you, JB.
Would you put Damian Lillard over Tyrese Maxey?
Obviously,
No.
I
not.
wouldn't.
Would you put him over Jalen Brunson?
Obviously
No,
not.
but
There is
he
something
made
called a
my
wild
list.
card though.
Okay, what was my wild card?
Julius Randle made it over
No,
Damian
come
wild
on,
card.
nah, Julius Randle.
Yes.
Two All-Stars for the Knicks over 2 All-Stars for the Bucks.
That's what I was trying
Yes.
to tell. That's what I was trying to tell him.
He-
CT. He
Yes.
wasn't listening.
He don't
Y'all
be
just
using-
told me that nigga was some buns.
He
Y'all
don't
just
be
spent
using
the
his
whole
mind
half hour
sometimes.
talking about that.
He don't be-
defense.
he
Well,
don't
that's
be
half
us-
the game.
Oh,
He don't be using that mind sometimes.
Come on, man.
The mind is such a powerful
What's Julius
thing.
Randle doing defensively?
hey, just
Enough.
let you know, Dame not on mine.
What a
either.
lie.
You have Dame team. There we go. So the Jalen's ain't have him.
Dame.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you
I
didn't
just
have
had to
him
be
on
sure
there
what side I was on first.
He was letting you take all the slander though,
Playing
because
the
he was.
cards right.
Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson. Come on, now.
Oh yeah, they was not cooking
They were not.
because that's not happening.
So when Julius Randle isn't on, what
Damn.
are you gonna do? That's what I'm saying.
Bam, not making it done. Damn.
Bam is making.
Well,
The fans wasn't cooking.
So,
man.
but Julius
What you
Randle
talking
don't make it. We can revisit this right here. 'Cause I
Julius
don't know what they
Randle,
doing.
Julius Randle is not making that team.
Why
I ain't even.
not?
I ain't even bothered.
Why
looking
would
up
he
that
make
many
it?
numbers.
I mean, Pascal.
No, man. Hold on. Let me go to
Let's
the
go.
numbers.
Let's look this up,
Get
man.
that girl
I
out
might
of
be the only
there.
person that
Jalen-
got.
did
I think
Jalen
I got
count?
all 12 right.
Does Jalen count?
Oh, 12, right? Okay.
But my goal wasn't to get it right. That's the issue.
That's
Some people's goals here was to get it right, and they left off one of the starters. That's kind of embarrassing.
who?
I'm not gonna say any names.
It's not me because I had Damian Lillard. So you're
You
not
think
talking
my
about me.
goal was to be right, and I got 2 Knicks on here. I'm using your
Oh,
logic now.
so you admit that that's not happening?
I thought it was what I want for the All-Star
Right,
game.
I-
Why do
What
you
is
want to
this?
see 2 Knicks in All-Star?
That's a great
They
question.
deserve to be in the All-Star game. What the hell?
Julius Randle.
So I had.
He made the All-Star game last year when I
Do
doubted
you wanna-
him. Why
do you
would
wanna
I?
combine the segments now?
So what's that? What's that?
No, I was asking if we want to combine.
No, it's
Oh,
all right.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, looking at my list, I had Dame on here over, Chris Stapps, who's having a pretty good season. Scotty Barnes,
Why the fuck you
who I
said
didn't
it?
see on anybody
Come on,
else's
be
list.
serious.
Julius Randle is probably third on that list of the people I just mentioned.
What?
He's having a good season, but 2 All-Stars for the Knicks just doesn't.
So you
make
think?
I'm about to say,
you think
me and
Kristaps-
CT had the same
wait.
forwards as a reserve.
You think
so-
Kristaps? You think Kristaps and Scotty have a better chance than, or have a better argument to it also than Julius Randle?
Yeah.
I think Julius
Based
would
off
have the
what?
better. I think Julius would have the better chance than Kristaps because you're not putting 3 Celtics
Julius'
in.
stats is almost identical to what he had last year, and he was an All-Star last year.
Oh well.
Uh,
Sometimes,
got worse.
sometimes we just have to use the eye test.
You
I
just don't
don't
like
think
that nigga. That's what it is.
I don't like
Yeah, we
Randle,
can't.
man.
I was
It just
Julius
can't- it
Randle's
just
biggest
can't be
supporter in the
numbers.
group chat last year.
It just
I was
can't
calling
be
him
numbers.
6'9" James Harden.
Then what happened?
He's playing
The
the same
playoffs
he did that
happened.
last season. I'm
The
confused.
playoffs happen.
Playoffs happen. Okay.
Sorry, I value that a little bit too much,
That's
I guess.
interesting.
You're such a hater.
It just can't be numbers, man. It just can't.
It's not. It's not numbers.
But if you look at it, of the 12 people that I have on the roster, I don't think he's making it over. Is he making it over Paolo? Is that what it is?
I think he should.
If you asking me,
I don't know
so
about that.
JB, Dame's not making it over Paolo?
No, Dame makes over Paolo, but Paolo's a forward. I needed a forward.
Paolo is
Paolo's
a
on your
wild card.
For real?
Yeah.
He is your wild card.
Oh.
Paolo and Jalen Brunson were your wild cards.
You got me. I could have put Dame in there. Yeah, I could have put Dame in there.
Yeah, I knew I did. Yeah. And JG, let's look at your wild cards.
You go ahead. I definitely could have.
He had Brunson and Adebayo. That's why he was saying Bam's not gonna make it.
Bam's a wild card.
Yeah. Well, okay. Of course, I got Julius Randle there, but I thought he'd make it based on what he did last season.
So Paolo has a better case than Bam.
No.
For
you. I'm sorry.
For me, yeah, based on the Magic season.
Okay.
But yeah.
So back
starters.
to the starters. My bad. Tyrese, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Giannis, Joel Embiid. Those are my starters. But the only person who got left off was Donovan. Damian Lillard was the starter. Anybody else have any major takeaways from the Eastern Conference starting lineup?
I'm scared for Trae Young now. I mean, we talked about that on the group chat yesterday, but I mean honestly, because are we really trusting that the coaches are gonna put Trae Young in as a reserve?
They're not gonna put Trae Young in because they're doing something that y'all not are doing.
That's why I'm scared for him, because I'm like,
y'all
he's having a great
wins
season
for some reason.
So is he the one who misses it for Julius Randle?
It must be.
Yes.
Must be.
No,
yes.
It's going to be Derek White over Trae Young. I swear.
If they put Derek White in, yeah, we might have to.
No, it's not cool. No, it's not cool.
What you saying?
I mean, if anything, that would help CT's agenda with Kristaps if they put Derek White in.
That's cool. Cool with me.
What you saying?
The thing is, Powell's all-star because he's like a surefire. Like, there's a no-brainer. The numbers back it up, the line back it up. That's easy. It's not even that. And then also, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like stats are cool and all, but like winning matters, especially when you talk to these coaches. I think player of the week honors matter a lot. Honestly, if you're only going off a half the season's body of work, which is why Trae Young, like, despite the numbers he's putting up, I don't think I can consistently say, like, was he the best point guard in the East, like, at least one of the months leading up to the All-Star break. I can't say yes to that. Whereas with Paolo, I think I can say, like, there's definitely, like, a stretch of, like, 2 weeks or even a month where he may have been the best forward in the East. Like, really? I think I could – because in December, Orlando was the 4th seed. He's averaging 21, 6, and 4, and he's shooting nearly 40 from 3. There's only 2 other stars doing that. That's LeBron and Luka. Like, Paolo is a surefire. I don't know. Like, that's why, like – I don't know. Like, I feel like we're not valuing winning enough.
But best forward,
he just lied on that best forward in the East part.
The best forward in the conference with Jason Tatum.
Lost me.
I didn't say for the whole season, but I could say there's a stretch of like a good amount of time where I could say like for these 2 weeks or even up to a month, like yes, there's an argument for him being the best forward in the league. He's been dominant, like at least from the start of the season to December. He's been like I think they slowed down a little bit. They're now 4 games away from the 4th seed. They're 7th or 8th, but there was a stretch of time where Orlando was like top 4 in the East, where I was like, he took that leap and then some.
So there was a stretch. The stretch ended, and the voting continued.
Yeah, but it's not like he fucking plateaued. He's still elite.
No, I mean I understand that, but I don't think it's fair to call him a surefire in comparison to like, if we're comparing it to other reserves that we had considered like. Trae Young, man, he's having a great season as a point guard. Right, SportsFan?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, at this point, if averaging 27 and 10 don't get you in, at this point, it don't matter.
They're 18 and 26. Next question.
I mean,
that's not the only thing we're looking at.
I mean, man, this is such a boomer. This is such a boomer view of All-Star voting, man.
This is not. This is why Derek White's going to get in because what the shit he just said.
Derek White is not making it. Let's be for real.
Derek White's not getting in, man.
We're not getting three Celtics are not making it.
Y'all debate, man.
3 Celtics are not making it.
I mean, Derek White got to make it over Scotty Barnes.
That's not 3 Celtics not making like they the Jazz. Or
I don't think.
No, because you have to be like.
I don't think the record should come into play this often, unless it is like if somebody is making 2 All-Stars, or if it's between 2 teams that have 1 All-Star, but they have completely different records. Like if one team is 3rd in the East and Trae Young's team, which is like what, 12th, 13th in the East.
So
if we're comparing it like that,
they're 10th in the East.
Right. So play
the Magic are
8th versus 10th seed. Trae Young has been better than Paolo for most of the season, considering what he has around him too. Let's be honest. So that's the case in the East. Let's move to the Western Conference, where for the first time in almost a decade, I want to say, Steph was not announced as an all-star starter. Shea took the honors this year. Shea and Luka are the starting backcourt. We have LeBron, KD, and Jokic starting front court. No real surprises there.
Yeah, I think all of us picked that except for Brandon. I think that's it.
Me and Brandon moved Steph because we saw the fan votes and we just assumed that he was going to make it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where
so that must mean the players in the media did what we thought they were going to do.
Didn't vote for Steph. I just assumed they was going to do it just off the veteran stuff. So
yeah, the West is much more highly contested, I could say, especially around these 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 spots. Yeah. It's a lot of deserving players,
especially that guard position.
But the starters, I think they got right. I think they got the starters right. Steph is having a great season, but if you compare his season to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's, Shai is the top seed in the East. I mean, not in the East, in the West, and Steph's team is basically floundering. And Shai is probably having an MVP level season in comparison to Steph, who is, of course, an MVP level player, but not putting up the same type of numbers as Shai is. So I do think they got it right. All these teams are competitive, at least. The Lakers are, they're competitive. In-season tournament champions, so you got to give them that.
That banner's up there, man.
It's there. They put an 18th banner up for that.
Flag.
But
it's a flag.
I don't think.
Oh my God, you had Donovan Mitchell starting?
Ooh.
We're in the West, man.
DT.
We'll get to that in a second, Nate. We'll get to that in a second.
We're in the West.
I'm just so.
You ain't. All right, I got a Donovan Mitchell.
It's all right, Nate.
But no, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Because the West might take a minute. So, any other major surprises out West in the starting lineup?
No, sir.
No. Outside of Curry, no. So welcome back. We're gonna transition to the West real quick. Give our locks for the reserves that we have so far. So we have De'Aaron Fox, Stephen Curry, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, Domantas Sabonis, and Kevin Durant. So that is 7 players. Yeah, but we did have some disagreements though.
So the highly contentious players I could say are Paul George, who is on some people's list but is not on some. Domantas Sabonis was a player of high contention.
Yeah.
In turn with that, De'Aaron Fox wasn't really much contention with him, but just the whole Kings getting 2 All-Star conversation. Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns,
Cat for sure, yeah.
And then so that's about the main players that were discussed. Anybody want to take a strong position on any of them that were mentioned?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't know why I included Karl Anthony Towns.
That was surprising to me too.
Why is Cat here over Anthony Edwards?
I was very confused. I mean, I know it came right after the 62-point game, but come on, y'all.
Yeah, Cat over Anthony Edwards. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Sometimes you're just wrong. Sometimes you're just wrong.
You know what?
But I'm not going to change it because
if you were to change it, what would you have done?
I mean, if I were to change it, I would just move PG up to that forward spot.
Yes.
Solidify it, and then it would just be between Cat and Ant. I feel like over the past month, Cat has been playing all NBA level basketball. And so it depends. It really does depend on what the voters
don't look at it
value.
like that. I mean, Julius Randle was all NBA last year.
So it's been very close between who was the best player on the Timberwolves over this past month. Anthony Edwards has put up a couple stinkers. Cat has been pretty consistent. And then he had that big game that really, it's like what they say, the last memory is what people remember the most.
That's true. So but he also didn't play the right way.
The memory of a
fish? Your delivery was terrible.
The memory of a fish?
I don't believe nobody ever said that.
I get what you're saying, but he also didn't play the right way in that game. So
he didn't play the right way. The whole team, but no. That's more on Anthony Edwards, man. He got to take that ball out of his hands.
That's more on Anthony Edwards.
Take that ball out of his hands.
Who passed the nigga the ball?
They kept passing him the ball. If you keep passing me the ball and I'm approaching 70, what do you think I'm gonna do?
You gonna keep shooting?
Exactly. So I don't blame him for
What year
doing
is
that.
Karl Anthony Towns in? Like year 8, year 9?
And what year is Anthony Edwards in?
He in year 10.
Yeah, that's my point.
He's older than me.
You're not.
Who's older?
This year.
He's like year 4, I think.
It's 9.
You talking about for Ant or Karl Anthony Towns?
It's 8.
Sounds like 8 or 9. 8 or 9.
It's 8.
So you're telling me
next year be 9.
a year 8 or 9 player needs a year 3 Anthony Edwards to tell him what to do?
No, he don't have to tell him. Anthony Edwards got to take that ball and play the right way.
Or catch us and play the right way, period.
He didn't.
I get what CT's saying, but some of that shot selection is kind of crazy too.
Get him out of here.
If he's approaching 70 points, why would I not continue to shoot the ball if they keep passing?
All right, moving on.
I agree with you there, CT.
I'm trying to figure out what Cat
His shot selection could have been better because there were a couple times where he took like real early shots in the clock that weren't even like.
But he's approaching 70 points.
Yeah.
Somebody else got to shoot the ball eventually, and this is a big man. He's not primarily bringing the ball down the court. They are feeding him because they want him to get 70.
Correct. I agree. I agree, CT. But I think in the first half Cat was getting a whole lot of points off of mismatches, and they kind of went away from doing that. I get what you're saying because they were passing him the ball. So in that situation, you still need to make sure you put him in the positions to succeed if you're going to pass him the ball so his shot selection isn't that bad. But I think it was more so he got those points to the flow of the game early, whereas late he was hunting those points, which we all understood.
We don't reward
But
that.
It was just a situation where the shot selection could have been better.
That's not real basketball. We don't reward that around here.
That's what they should have not done. We shouldn't have rewarded it.
But were they
I didn't put it on my list.
If they were feeding,
I didn't reward them.
I'm talking about the Timberwolves themselves should not have rewarded him pursuing 70.
I mean, he is developing the team.
He is. He probably told them to do
Quick
it.
question though. You said he was all NBA for last month?
No.
You didn't say that?
You're lying.
You're lying.
You're lying.
It's on tape.
You're lying.
Averaging 20 and 9 over the last month. That's
20 and 9. That's pretty good, man.
all NBA.
All right.
Pretty good.
Yeah, go to hell.
Moving on.
Any other players was the big? Was Devin Booker? Sabonis. Oh, I mean, that's a bonus one. He's playing at an all-star level. It's close between him. I think
The Kings are like the Knicks for me. I just don't think they get two people in.
Who was in my
so
wild card?
the question is, do you have De'Aaron or DeMontis?
but they had 2 people in last year.
it was
Just like the
better
Knicks
last
had
year.
2 people
It
in
was
last
better
year.
last year.
What's the problem? They were better. Oh, what's their record now? Are they like
Kings?
24 and 18?
They're not a third
24
team.
and
I'm about to say they weren't.
They
definitely
the
don't
3 seed last year.
lose. Yeah, they were last year.
They're
I think they're
seventh
6th.
seed.
Seventh.
They're seventh.
Behind the Pelicans. Speaking of Pelicans,
No,
fair enough.
Pelicans.
No
Zion.
all-star. No
None of us
all-star
had
for the
Zion.
Pelicans.
No Zion.
I know.
Couldn't allow it.
He been playing too, right?
Yeah.
He playing well.
Yeah, they're just not good enough this year. It seems like.
No, I mean they're the
They're
6th
top
seed.
6.
What does that mean?
Let's cut that
You know,
out.
sometimes you're wrong. You know? And sometimes you gotta admit that.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop letting this happen.
Sometimes you're wrong, man.
Well, he hasn't moved me enough. I'll say, damn, Pascal.
What do you do?
That tweet there somehow would have E40 said Pascal Siakam. I ain't gonna do it on camera, bro.
Do it on camera. Please don't do it on camera.
But,
Damn. Does Zion and Brandon Ingram, they both averaging about 21.
Oh yeah, that's
21. Yeah, that's not enough.
That's boring.
I know. They playing and winning basketball. They reward that. I'm trying to tell you.
Zion don't be dunking the same way no more.
You're lying.
People
He
just
almost
don't
hit his
like
head on the backboard
Oh,
2
my
days ago.
goodness.
You
Now
gotta
this-
stop lying.
You're saying how often do he do that though?
Wow, who's gonna do that every night? That is not.
That's
That's
what
what
he
he
was
used to
doing.
do. Is what I'm saying. He don't dunk it the same way no more.
Is that why you're not an All-Star game? Because you don't dunk like that
Sometimes
no
you know
more?
what? Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're
I'm
wrong.
not wrong.
you gotta admit it.
I admit it. Brian, he's wrong, right? All right. So back to the All-Star game.
I mean, I think he's saying it from a consistency standpoint, JG. So he's
All
not
right,
as entertaining as he used to be.
I'll admit.
No team defense is gonna let Zion dunk the ball 20 times a game. That is
All right,
nonsense.
yo, we're getting off track.
I'll admit. Cat should not be on my list. It should probably be Ant or Sabonis.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
True.
Ant or
Yes.
Sabonis. So I was in the wrong there.
Wait,
It's
why
okay.
are you guys so adamantly against
Nathan. Oh my
Wait,
God.
hold on. Let they go. What were you saying, Nate? What were you
Because he's
saying?
whining.
Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
What,
Go ahead,
what
Nate.
player though?
You was just talking about Zion dunking the ball for like 3 minutes, but why are people so adamantly against having 2 Timberwolves players in the reserve?
No, I'm not
They're
putting 2 Timberwolves.
They're the 2 seed. What are we doing?
I know they are.
He didn't have
The Nuggets are what?
He didn't have Ant on his
the
at
3
all
seed?
though.
Yeah, he had his
He
in
didn't
his
have
honorable
Ant at all.
mention.
It's not even like he was having 2 Timberwolves. He didn't have.
But they both should be on there. I feel like they're both surefires for me, honestly.
I can see where Nate's coming from because I feel like it would come. I feel like it would come between. It would come down to Cat
So I'm
and
not entirely wrong,
Sabonis.
Does winning not matter to y'all?
So
You said what, Nate?
Do records not matter?
No,
I don't know why
records-
that's so crazy.
Records
They
matter,
matter,
but
but
it's
it's
like
All-Star game individual
player
performance.
to player. If I could replace a player with another player and the team could conceptually still have the same success.
So
Okay.
this is theoretical argument.
I like this, Nate. I have a question
I
for
feel like
you.
it would come down to Cat and
Nate, I have a
Sabonis.
question for you. If
but-
records matter, why do you have Laurie but no D-Book?
What's to say that again?
Why do you have Laurie marking him but no
We
D-Book?
cooked him. Oh my goodness.
The numbers.
Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're wrong.
No.
Say the line, Nate. Say the line.
No, let him explain. Let him explain.
Oh no. No, I legitimately think Lauri's an all-star though. I'm saying I was making the argument more so about having multiple players.
8 all-stars in each conference.
Deflecting.
I was saying more so. First of all, I had him as my wild card. I didn't have him necessarily as a.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
makes
saying.
it worse. It's worse.
That means you could have put just D-Book right there instead of.
I could have. No. But I just think
get
Lauri's still playing at an all-star level compared to last year. My point was saying you can have multiple players from one team as an all-star if they're performing well. Like they're not.
You just wanted to give some.
I mean, I agree with Nate there, but then I think it would come down to Cap versus Sabonis if you're saying multiple players.
Yeah.
Cap versus Sabonis.
Oh yeah, Sabonis isn't on this list either.
27, 7, and 5 doesn't get you an All-Star game.
He still didn't answer the question.
So I think Nate just wanted to give Lauri some acknowledgement.
I respect that.
That's what it seems like.
I feel like that's what he should have said, and then he should have said the line after that.
You
Sometimes
should have said the
you're
line.
wrong.
Sometimes you
I feel like we've all been wrong, but
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't think it's that clear cut, but you know.
No, it's close. It's definitely close.
I don't know because
Lauri D-Book, that's not close.
Lauri
But
isn't
the
on my
rest is
short
close.
list. Lauri isn't on my short list of honorable mentions either. But that's me versus you. We have
Yeah.
different eyes for the game.
What is that?
But we're arguing the wild card. Like I'm trying to say that Cat should be there because of they're the 2 seed.
Okay, and I could argue that D Book should be there because Lauri's the 12 seed.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
All right.
But they're only off by 3 games though.
Okay, and D Book is only off from the 2 seed by how many games?
They have 26. I think 5.
Okay.
And what's the stats look like between Devin Booker and Lauri Markkanen? Because I know that's got to
Let's
be a
not
discrepancy.
let's not
in
read
there, right?
those. Let's not read those.
What about Paul George? What are the Clippers? What's the Clippers seed?
The Clippers are 4th,
Lauri's-
but they're
Lauri's-
2 games away
I'm
from
putting
the
the cape on. I'm putting the cape on.
So the Clippers are
But
2
he has
games away.
Kawhi, though. So
Clippers
it's
are
not
2
like
games
we all have Kawhi. I think.
No.
Okay.
How many games are the Clippers away from the Timberwolves?
2 games. 2 games.
So the Clippers are 2 games away from the 2 seed, which is almost the 1 seed because the Timberwolves are right there with the Thunder.
They all have 31 wins. Yeah.
So if the Clippers are right there with the Timberwolves and Thunder, why don't the Clippers have 2 All-Stars, Nathan?
You said what?
Why don't the Clippers have 2 All-Stars?
No, that's a great. I honestly was debating between putting Kawhi and PG, and you know this because we were talking about this yesterday.
He
I was
did say
debating,
that. He did say that.
I was
So why
heavily
is
debating.
Lauri on there over PG?
I think he just likes Lauri, man. Like he likes his game.
Honestly, no.
That's the
I
only
was
thing that
gonna
makes
say,
sense
like,
at this point.
Can you let me fucking finish, man?
No, I'm not trying to be.
Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
It's gonna be so funny, man. No, I'll say this for Lauri. Like, I'll legitimately say this for what do you call it? I think like in terms of his game, I think the numbers don't really talk about how well he's been for them, how good he has been for them this year. And I was debating, like honestly, I was debating between him and PG to get the last spot, but I just think. Granted, yes, the Jazz are in a worse spot, but I think the success that they've had so far this year, a lot of it goes through Lauri, whereas when I look at the Clippers this year,
Okay.
PG has been a huge part about it, but I think you can credit Kawhi for a lot of it. I think James, you can credit for a lot of it. I just think as a team, they're better, which doesn't necessarily lessen Paul George's like contributions, but I just think it's like the slight, if I had to nitpick.
Right.
We might have to use those Warren box plus minus
if
stats.
Karl Anthony Towns is an All-Star, using this 2 All-Star logic from each team, Anthony Davis and LeBron James are on the 10 seed, and they have 2 All-Stars.
Yeah,
Clippers.
It's LeBron 80 though.
I understand.
It's also
We're good this year. We're good this year.
They're not 12 this year.
Yeah, they're not the 12 seed this year.
We're in the play now. Come on now.
Lauri Markkanen is the 9 seed.
Y'all funny.
Has Lauri Markkanen been better at basketball this year than Paul George? Yes or no? Yes or no? It doesn't take the.
because the offense going through Lauri.
But let's also account for the defensive side of the end, the defensive end of the ball.
Half of it. That's half of the game.
I don't know. Maybe not according to
I will say this.
bring it
The thing that's really I'm not sure
Nathan.
about
Yes or no? I don't know what you're about to go. What this tangent is. We're getting low on time. Yes or no?
I think it's offensively. I think they're damn near the same.
Boom! We went the same.
All right,
Paul George.
hold on.
Come on, Nate.
Nate, the producers are on my ear. They're saying they're cutting your mic off. All right,
Wait. How much is PG
they're cutting your mic off. The
averaging?
people can't hear what you're saying, Nate. The people can't hear
How much
what
is
you're
PG
saying.
averaging? How much is PG averaging?
24. Him and Kawhi are averaging.
And how much is Lauri averaging? And how much is
24,
Lauri
right?
averaging?
I think Lauri's averaging like 24, 23, 24.
Yeah, he's averaging 24. And then here's
As
the
the
crazy
first
part.
option. PG's averaging 24 as the third option some nights.
Okay, I mean, yeah, when you got Kawhi Leonard and James Harden on your team, you're gonna get better looks, are you not?
Oh, I like that.
It's
I like that one.
It's a lot of rigmarole going on.
I'm gonna use that for Trae Young. I like that.
That's a lot
Bro,
of back and forth.
y'all see Trae Young teammates? They not good,
You should have
man.
used that earlier.
I like that.
Trae Young and Lauri Markkanen. Is that not the same?
Damn.
Never mind.
but
Never
Trae
mind.
Young-
Never mind.
It's the same argument. It's the
Hey,
same
we don't
argument.
have time.
Yeah.
But you can see
So
that this is the
sick.
debate that we have been going on for the past 2 days almost. That's how difficult it is to name Western Conference All-Stars. Some of us didn't even consider Lauri Markkanen. Some of us had him as a lock in the wild card spot.
Well, CT,
I didn't have him as
you
a
want to
lock,
give your
damn it.
proposal on what people
I
should do going
think
forward?
I think we should add one more spot to the All-Star game because the active NBA roster for any given game is 13 spots. I think 12 is not enough. I think there should be at least one more spot to the All-Star game just so we can give that one more deserving player that spot. And for the most part, throughout the season, injuries, most of the deserving players end up getting in, but there's always just one person who always feels like they're getting left out. So make the roster 13 spots, please, going forward.
Yes.
That is the.
I want to add one more thing if you're done.
We're going to talk to Adam about that.
Go ahead, because I'm about to
One more
close out.
thing. I just think in using the logic that you and Nate use, it's like
No.
when you're averaging like similar stats to Sabonis and you're playing with the least efficient backcourt in basketball, I think Sagoon should be an all-star. Just considering
You knew that was coming.
considering the offense is going through him and his teammates surrounding him.
Stand up and turn the
why is
camera off.
Sagoon not an all-star? I'm trying to figure this out.
Turn the camera off.
Is this not the logic I use?
All right.
Come on now.
This has been another edition of the West.
I have a question.
Oh, no.
I want to also get in on this actually.
Oh, go ahead.
So, but can you talk to us about your decision for Victor Wembanyama?
Oh yeah, we can't let you slide. Let's get into it.
I thought I was going to be okay.
I completely forgot about the one. That's the last thing.
The only way Vic makes the All-Star game was with the fan vote, I think.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I just felt like his defensive
know.
contributions along with the numbers he was putting up, even though, of course, they're not winning games, and, semi-narrative pusher because, he's a...
Brian, sometimes you just got to say the line.
Yeah.
Just
say the line.
Just say it, Brian. Look into the camera
Sometimes
and
you're
tell the
wrong.
people.
You know what's crazy though? I can see why he put Wemby though. Just because
I almost think Wimpy's a better All-Star candidate than
Lauri?
Lauri Markkanen.
No. Wrong.
I don't know. If you think about
Wrong.
If you think
If
about
you think about
They got,
Jimmy
they,
Sutton,
got, they got 8 wins.
Think
They
about
got
it like
8
that.
wins.
Yeah.
He's a better candidate. All right. Okay.
is Vic's situation not worse than? Never mind. We don't have time for this. Never mind. This has been another edition of What's the Play podcast. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to, get more content for you guys. So please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Share with everybody you know, too.
Grandma, granddad, mom, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, sister,
Drew
brother.
Walls.
Hey, you got to make that video.
God
Be sure to stay tuned for the next play. We're out.